Hey everyone, so I'm 7 uploads in, 8 if you count this one, and prior to embarking on this journey, I looked up what other people's experiences were with starting their own YouTube channels, and I've compiled a list of 3 important things I thought was good advice that I carried with me into starting this channel. My name is Josh, and this is another On a Tangent topic. Number 1, just taking that leap of faith and getting started. You really don't know what it's going to take to do something until you actually do it. And if it's something that you're passionate about, just go for it. Don't let the fear of doing something, like putting yourself out there for everyone to see, stop you from achieving your goals. There are a lot of excuses you can make to prevent yourself from starting something, and you're never going to grow or get better by holding yourself back. Never be afraid to fail. I didn't know anything about video editing, and I'm still just learning about the software that I'm using now, which is DaVinci Resolve. I highly recommend it since it's free and it's pretty powerful for what it can do. A friend of mine suggested it, and I love it so far. Thanks, E-Man. I don't have any kind of background in public speaking, but I've given plenty of presentations at my full-time job. But I'm not the greatest at it, and I do plan to look up ways to improve and get my overall speech more engaging. If you look at some of my very first videos, there are a lot of beginner mistakes I make. What the heck was I thinking engaging my audience in the first video? It didn't make any sense. My wife pointed that out and I was like, oh man, you're totally right. I'm asking people questions as if I'm going to get 100 responses. Part of me just wanted to imitate what other YouTubers were doing, but without really realizing that in the beginning I'm not going to have that subscriber base. And until I have that, I'll just focus on getting the content that I'm passionate about out there. I don't have a degree in this stuff. I'm learning right alongside you. I've been educating myself on the topics I'm covering on the channel, but by no means do I consider myself an expert. The point is, there are a lot of things that I could use as an excuse to stop me from There are a lot of things that I could, The point is, there are a lot of things that I could use as an excuse to stop me from pursuing this, but I'm not. I'm putting in the time and the effort to get better in order to do what I'm really passionate about, which is teaching all of you basic financial concepts and improving your financial literacy so that you can get closer to reaching your financial goals. Which is great for number 2 on my list, finding your niche or your channel's purpose. I had this idea of starting a financial education channel for over a year. There are plenty of personal finance channels out there, and some pretty good channels that actually teach some good stuff relating to finance and investing. But the data I'll link in the description below just goes to show that the US is still doing a terrible job at providing quality financial education. Financial literacy is still a big problem. In fact, it's in decline, despite having the most states we've ever had on board teaching finance topics in high schools. So in the last half of 2022, I decided to start putting content together for what I thought would be a fun educational experience. It involves using a visual form of learning to supplement the walls of text you can find online. Starting this channel is just the first step of many to getting smarter about how to handle my money and sharing that with all of you. My hope is that my content will stand on its own, enough to where people get informed about how to handle and grow their own money and turn it into wealth. Or at the very least, provide them the resources to find their own way. In the future, I'd really love to find a way to reach out to the vast majority of those who are struggling and living check to check, to find ways to help those individuals reach their financial goals by educating them and providing ways that they can improve their spending habits so that even in their struggle, they find ways to save or invest. I may be a little ways away from that, but we've all got to start somewhere. And for me, that just happens to be providing a catalog of content that can help get information that's already out there to a wider audience, and in a way that's a little bit easier to digest. Or at least I hope so. Number 3, staying consistent and knowing yourself. I want those of you who are on your own YouTube journeys to understand that it will take time and dedication. That being said, with regard to my own personal case, I may take breaks from time to time because I have a full-time job that takes priority, and I sometimes need to pull some overtime for that job, which may lead to not reaching my upload goal of 1 video a week. I don't have the luxury of quitting that job or relying on anyone else to pursue this YouTube thing full time. Life sometimes throws curveballs your way that you don't expect, and you need to find a way to roll with the punches and stick to it. I still have no idea how this channel is going to turn out, but I plan to stick to it through thick and thin for the benefit of my wife and I, who are learning how to better handle our own finances, and for all of you out there who want to learn ways to preserve and grow your wealth. Handling your finances is one of the most important things you're going to need to learn in life, and the US is not doing a good job in preparing everyone. With regard to YouTube upload schedules, I remember hearing about people's experiences with uploading 2 videos a week and how crazy that schedule was. So I wanted to give myself a more realistic timeline, especially with being married and wanting to spend quality time with my wife and having that separate full-time job. 1 video a week, I'm not gonna lie, it's been challenging, but not impossible. I do need to do better about sticking to my weekly deadlines to not feel so rushed all the time, but that's just going to come with practice. Point being, do your best to stay consistent knowing your limitations. Overall, I've got to say, I've really enjoyed the start of this journey, especially the learning process. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and I think some of the most successful people you know are likely people who enjoy continuing to learn new things. Don't get me wrong, there's still a ton to learn to get my videos to be better, but I'm willing to take that on. For those of you starting your own YouTube journeys, just like me, I wish you the best of luck. Please like and subscribe to help push out my channel to help others learn and grow alongside me. Until next time, peace out. I don't have any kind of background in public speaking, but I've given plenty of presentations at my full-time job, but I'm not the greatest at it, and I do plan to look up ways to... Dang it,